Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Now I'm in the picture.
Adam's in the picture, and
Hi.
Jeff is coming. All right. I've just started the recording. So good afternoon, everyone. It's 3:32 p.m., and I'm calling this meeting of the Maple Broadband Executive Committee to order for May 21st, 2025. Just a reminder to everyone that we have an hour meeting today rather than the usual 90 minutes because we have our kickoff, our Finance Committee inaugural meeting is starting in 58 minutes from now. So we'll try and move through the agenda with all due and appropriate speed. So the first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Nancy?
Yeah.
Can
Second.
I get a second? Okay. Would anyone like to make any edits to the agenda? Okay. Hearing none. All in favor of approving the agenda as distributed, raise your hand or say aye. Okay. And that looks like all of you. Next up is to approve the minutes from April 30th. So you've all had a chance to review those. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve as presented.
Thank you, Shannon. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, there we go. And any edits, comments on the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes as presented? Raise your hand or say aye. Okay, that looks like everyone. Okay, public comments. Would anyone like to make a public comment at this time? Okay.
Nice press release.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a wonderful public comment. Thank you, Adam. I haven't checked to see if it's been picked up by any press today. I've been a little busy. But, yep, if it is, obviously, we'll put it on the website and circulate out and put on the socials and the newsletter and all that. Steve, over to you for the chair report. You're muted.
I'll make it brief because we really only do have an hour. I had something I'd wanted to mention at the governing board meeting that I got carried away and didn't mention it, was about Ellie and Vermont CUD Association. As you know, she's the chair of the Vermont CUD Association, and in some of the activities that Vacuda has engaged in has involved spending money, and they have received grants to continue their operating efforts. And on occasion, they have identified functions that would be best attended in person. And so in such cases, as the president of Vacuda, Ellie has had cause to attend some of those. And she and I just recently kind of kicked it around a little bit. And she and I are really well aligned. Ellie is actually, she's not working exclusively for Maple Broadband. She's working for Liquid Telecom. She's got other interests that she's doing, and it's part of what we understand is part of her engagement. But she's also really interested in getting really good at CUDs, and as a result, this is her second year in a position of leadership at Vacuda, or is what I would call leadership. So I wanted you to be aware of that because when I first learned that Ellie was going out of town to attend functions, I didn't know who was paying for it. And so subsequently learned that she's done it a number of times. She's gone on the road for one reason or another. She's also spent time, as you probably know, delivering testimony in Montpelier. And all those, I would consider Montpelier testimony probably as part of our obligation, her obligation to us. But we're not the only CUD, so she's actually fulfilling an obligation as a chair of Vacuda when she's doing those kinds of things. But in general, she and I talked about it, and we really both believe that this is a great trade deal, if you will, between what she's doing at Maple Broadband and what she's doing in her capacity at Vacuda. She's getting more and more experience in this field, and she's learning things that she might not have learned before. That makes her better professionally in the work that she's doing, and also supports her professional growth. So she's got other things ahead of her. One of these days after CUDs aren't here, and part of what she's doing, we're honestly not paying a nickel for. Vacuda is paying for it, And Ellie is learning those things, and she's making herself better and better able to support Maple Broadband as well. So I just want to acknowledge that, make sure that you are aware of it. And that's the extent of my presentation.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone have anything they want to say to that? Otherwise, I'll move on to my report. Okay. So again, just in the interests of time, I've announced before my top 3 priorities is working with London Middlebury on the marketing plan, working to get the take rate up, and audit work and contingency planning and BEAD planning. And 2 of those 3 are on the agenda later on, so we'll cover them when they come. And on the London Middlebury bit, I've had quite a number of meetings with them in the last couple of weeks. They're very close to sending me, we've gone over the skeleton of the website. They're very close to sending me some initial designs for the website. So when I'm happy with those, I'll be distributing those. We had a nice meeting yesterday talking about KPIs, and they've set up a meeting for Thursday, which is an initial meeting with WCBT to discuss co-branding. Because again, we want to make sure that whatever it is that they propose, Waitsfield is on board with before bringing that to the executive committee. And then we've also been talking about the marketing plan, execution plan for this summer. So I've asked them to prepare their schedules to come to the next executive committee meeting, which is the first Wednesday in June 4th, if memory serves, to talk about all those things. So I just wanted to alert you guys that that was upcoming and that a focus for our next executive committee meeting is going to be where we are on the marketing execution side. And as many of those things as possible, I also want to distribute to you in advance. So I don't want you to be seeing the co-branding options at the beginning of the meeting. I want you to see that in advance, and similar on the KPIs. So I've alerted them to that I want to make sure that those are distributed ahead of time so that people can come prepared either to accept or to make edits so that we can move forward. Anything, comments, questions on that? Okay. Well, the next item on the agenda is the executive session to discuss our favorite
Ellie,
topics.
that's the end.
Yes.
That's the end of your executive director report.
Yes.
Question about your travel plans next week. If you could just kind of catch us up.
Oh yeah. So on Friday, I'm going to be flying to Portugal. Friday, 7 p.m. out of Montreal, and then Monday, Tuesday next week, I'll be working, because Monday's Memorial Day, but I'll be working remotely from Lisbon, and then Wednesday I fly to London, so I'll be working. So I'm over that side visiting friends. I'm flying back on Tuesday the 3rd, so I'll be time zone offset, but I'm not expecting a change to my work cadence. So there will be a little bit of interruption due to travel.
Thank you.
Long flight, short trip.
12 days all in all. If you
Was it
ask,
12? Oh,
Yep.
all right, I thought you were
if you
back
count the
Tuesday.
travel days, no, it's the following Tuesday.
Got it. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Are you flying back via Newark per chance?
Nope, I'm Steve, you know this. I don't fly in American airspace at the moment. We might be going over a little bit of northern Maine on my way to Lisbon, but everything else is clear of FAA jurisdiction. And it's not just Newark, it's Newark, LaGuardia, Denver, Reagan that we know of. Anyway.
So you're seriously avoiding all of that on purpose?
I am. I took the train to DC both ways with Krista,
Oh.
which had its own adventures that we won't get into now in the interest of time. And this
Okay.
is a public meeting, and
Okay.
I don't think anyone really cares who's watching the recording. Okay, anything else on executive director reports? Okay, Steve, would you do the honors and take us into executive session, please?
Yes, thank you. One moment, please. Strategy. I move to find that premature general public knowledge regarding Maple Broadband's business strategy would clearly place us at a substantial disadvantage because it risks disclosure of our activities if they were to be communicated to the public. Is there a second? Thanks, Cy. I move that we enter into executive session to discuss business strategy under Title I, Section 313, subsection A of the Vermont statutes. Is there a second? All in favor? Great. Thank you, everyone. All right, Ellie.